So I got a question the other day from Ben over in the UK. And he's saying, Antonio, love the channel. Here's my dilemma. I own a couple fragrances, but how do I find my signature scent without wasting a bunch of money? Can you help me? Well, Ben, don't worry. I've got you covered. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you my experiences and my research so that you can go out there and find the perfect signature scent for you. Step number one, get started. Don't fall into this analysis paralysis, overthinking it. You want to start wearing a fragrance. And it sounds like you've already got a couple, but I know so many guys out there that they're thinking about this, but they've never gone out and just simply purchased a fragrance. Now, I'm not saying you got to go out there and buy anything really unique. In fact, I would start off with a crowd pleaser. I would also maybe focus in on fragrances that are incredibly inexpensive, but still are very premium, or you could go with fragrances that have been out there forever, but are still really nice. Thing is, there are tons of great houses out there like Davidoff, which have tons of cheap fragrances, and that's where I would start. You see, most guys, when they start wearing fragrances, they're wearing it because they want to impress, or they want to get compliments from other people. They want to smell good and to have other people notice, most likely a woman. But here's the thing. Once you start wearing fragrances, you realize all of a sudden, wow, I just enjoy wearing it. It puts me in a better mood. I feel better. And that's the cool thing, is you start to wear it for yourself. And by the way, another cheap house you should check out, Antonio Banderas. Really like his line. Next up, trust your own judgment. You're going to go out there and you're going to read reviews. Some fragrances are going to be hyped up. Other fragrances are going to be panned by the critics. Point being is you need to make a decision for yourself, because you're the only person that can really find the fragrance that's going to work with your own chemistry. And this is based off a 2012 study. So they actually had all these guys spray their armpits, interestingly enough, and they had women basically smell. And what's interesting is whenever men were able to choose a fragrance that they actually liked, it mixed with their body chemistry, and women by far preferred this fragrance to the one that was just given to the guys randomly. The ones that he chose consistently would outperform the others. It's just something that we naturally do. We find fragrances that we like, and that's the thing, is you have to go with your gut. Next up, try, test, and buy. And don't be afraid to even blind buy. In fact, 95% of my fragrances I blind bought, because I learned what I wanted to look for, and I had a base that I started from. So let's say you're starting off with a crowd pleaser, one of the most common fragrances out there. You could stick, okay, I really like fresh fragrances. You can find other fresh fragrances, and you can build a collection of fresh fragrances. But what I would recommend is that you bring in something a little bit heavier, a little bit sweeter, something maybe for the winter. You've got something here for the summer. You've got two fragrances that complement each other. But you're only going to be able to do this if you go out there and you stretch a bit. Maybe you want to bring in something that's very different, something that is unisex, something that you would never expect that you would like. This is the beauty of actually going out there and testing and trying. That being said, blind buying a fragrance that costs hundreds of dollars, probably not the best option for a lot of people, especially just starting off. So don't be afraid to join some of these Facebook groups. People sell small samples, basically decants. You can also go directly to the manufacturer. A lot of times they sell small samples. Other times go online and again, find houses that are relatively inexpensive, making quality fragrances. I really like Ferrari. And I also like the fact that they're very transparent about what this is going to smell like. Bergamot. It is a citrus, not one that you would eat, but one that has a very strong smell, very similar to lemon, but a little bit different. Point being, if you don't like lemon, you're going to want to avoid this. But if you like fresh citrus fragrances, this is probably going to be a good choice. And because it's an inexpensive house, you're going to maybe spend $30. Look around, you can probably find it cheaper. Now, this next step to finding a signature scent, I don't think anyone talks about, and that's the power of conditioning. That is basically, what is your mood when you're trying a fragrance? How was it all set up? And this is where I feel that the packaging, the way that the fragrance is presented, and even how you feel when you're trying it on, this goes a long way. So I will warn you, if you're in a bad mood, if you are not feeling good, don't try a new fragrance, because what you don't want to do is associate that negative feeling with possibly a great fragrance. I'll tell you, when I got this thing from Kilian, Black Phantom, it came beautifully wrapped. I paid a lot of money for this fragrance. It's only 50 ml, but it was was all about that presentation. I felt great that day. I was anticipating this fragrance. And when I smelt it, it did not disappoint. So if you're going to spend a little bit more money, if you really want, you like, hey, I'm putting a lot of hopes on this, build it up and make sure that you try it when you're in a great mood, you're feeling good, because you don't want to, sabotage the feeling of a fragrance and sink it when, it could have actually been maybe something great. Now, gents, if you can't tell, I am into fragrances. Over the last year, I have built up a huge collection. But one thing that's driven me kind of nuts is everyone talks about how fragrances can make you sexier, yada, yada, yada. But what about the power, the science behind fragrances? I've done research for years. I've noticed again and again this stuff popping up about how certain scents, how when you wear certain fragrances, they can make you feel better. All this got me thinking, what if I could develop a line of fragrances that would help you perform at a higher level, whose sole purpose is specifically for you to be more focused, for you to be able to be more concentrated, for you to be more present when you're around your loved ones. When you're at work, you got to get up there and give that presentation. Well, guess what? You spray on courage. All of a sudden, you're going to have the courage to go out there on stage because you've conditioned yourself to have courage when you smell this fragrance. All of a sudden, you want to be more honorable. You want to be the man you know yourself to be. I've got a fragrance for that. One that you're going to wear consistently. One that you can wear to the gym. Commitment, because you know that you want to lose that 30 pounds, that you need to eat better. You need to go to the gym. This isn't magic. This is simply science. And I'm excited to be able to bring science to fragrance. So if you're interested in what I'm doing, you're going to want to check out my project over at Mission Fragrances. I'm linking to it down in the description. I've got an early bird list. When you jump on this email list, not going to spam you. I'm simply going to send you updates so that you get the best deal when we're coming out the gates. The next step to finding your signature scent is actually to practice wearing the fragrance. So what does one spray, how long does it last on your body? And is it something other people note? Maybe when you put 2 sprays on, 3 sprays on, be careful, some of these things can choke out a room, but you want to practice wearing this fragrance on your body and see how people react. This is just simply you getting to know the fragrance. You may find a fragrance that you spray on your clothes you don't actually like that much, but when you put it on your skin, it changes. It's much deeper, stronger. You actually note that it's changing throughout the day, and all of a sudden it becomes a favorite. Another interesting thing when you practice wearing a fragrance, you see how it performs under various conditions. In a normal workday, this is going to fade maybe by 4 p.m., 5 p.m. You don't pick it up. But one day you decide to go to the gym right after work, and all of a sudden you notice, wow, when my body temperature increases, all of a sudden I can smell this fragrance again, and it's like it gets a second wind. So you start to understand the character and the way the fragrance works with your body, your chemistry, and your routine. The next step to your signature scent is to discover more about the fragrances you're wearing. So what I like is wearing a fragrance and then trying to actually smell the notes. I go over to websites like Fragrantica and I see how they've broken this out, and I actually say, okay, can I pick up this one? Can I pick up that one? What are all of these other people saying about this? All of a sudden you start to understand that there are these perfumers out there that are coming up with these masterpieces. You realize this fragrance right here actually created a whole trend, changed an industry, and was created by the master perfumer Alberto Marias. You start to realize, okay, there's this history, there's all these stories with this. That makes it more enjoyable to wear when you understand that, kind of where it fits in history and the perfume industry. The next step in finding your signature scent, the perfect scent, exploration. And this is where it can get a little bit crazy because you found a fragrance that you love, but you want something perfect. You love it, but you really want something stronger, a little bit deeper. All of a sudden you find, oh, you've got a cousin, you've got a flanker, a Profumo. You get into that, and all of a sudden you say, oh, wait a minute, I'm tempted by this other cousin. A little bit lighter, a little bit cleaner. Oh, wait a minute, there's this Absolute, sweet, beautiful, but almost too sweet. I want something a little bit drier. You get this in, you can't stop, and you go and you try ones that you don't even understand what the difference is and why you're buying it. This is when you get hooked. I will say, be careful when you go down this rabbit hole. It's fun, but believe me, you can find a fragrance that is absolutely perfect. All right, gents, congratulations. At this point, you should have the information you need to find your signature scent. But how many fragrances should a man own? 2, 3, 4, 500? Guys, I've got you covered in this video right here. I go into a lot of detail about why maybe you want to have a summer, winter scent. If you're going to own 3, how you want to break that out. If you're going to own 4, and if you're going to own 5 or more, what you should be thinking about. I cover it, guys, in this video right here.